This is the AI chopping block, and today I'm joined by Mark Michael, the founder of DevHub, a guy who's run an 18-year-old tech company through pivots, layoffs, global expansion, and now the AI wave reshaping everything. In this episode, we break down why AI might kill the human side of the business, the exact jobs getting quietly automated right now, and why Mark believes small companies finally have once-in-a-lifetime advantage. Let's get into it.
Hey, everyone. David Stepania here from the home base, and Mark Michael, a good friend of mine. Actually, the first person who responded to my cold email in Seattle when I started building my company, Thirsty Sprout. And ever since then, we've been, bouncing around different ideas back and forth. Mark is a founder of DevHub. They build programmatic web pages for franchise, or it's a website builder for franchises. I'm gonna let Mark explain exactly what he does, and then we're gonna dive deeper into how they're leveraging AI today as a non-AI native company. And so I think it will be interesting because for now, up to this point, we've mostly covered AI companies. It'll be interesting to see what companies like mine or Mark's companies are doing in terms of AI and how they're using it to grow and scale their companies in this new age that we're in. Mark, please introduce yourself.
I love running with David because he's not very fast. And so it's actually, I don't know. Remember, I think you were kind of fast, but yes, responded to a cold email, but he's legit. And so we've kept in touch. We've bounced around, obviously, even before COVID. I mean, since after COVID, even countries and whatnot. So, yeah, good friend and really smart guy, company, the whole thing. So, DevHub, yes. Today, it is known as a CMS, but built specifically for franchise/multi-location brands, which is a lot different than a multi-site CMS because there's a lot more nuances when you have multiple stakeholders at the local level versus the corporate level, as well as agencies at both the corporate and local level, and a lot of things around permissioning and rolling out promos within regions and whatnot that a multi-site setup just can't handle, yet DevHub can for franchises and multi-unit brands.
I like it. I like it. When did you start the company? I remember you have a bit of a crazy story. Like you started the company, you pivoted, at some point you raised money, then you bought it back from the investors. I mean,
So
you've had the ups and downs.
yeah, and we're still better looking than everybody else. So yeah, again, in the journey of startup land, we started this in our 20s. I turned 43 tomorrow, and I've learned everything the hard way, all of it, and it's funny because again, I remember reading all the articles back when I was in my 20s, which was you just kind of build the thing and launch it, and then everyone uses it, and then you're basically rich because it's the internet, and then it's and I remember my investors would always be like, well, what about who's your team? I'm like, oh, it's just me and my co-founder. We're good. We don't need people. Da, da, da. Then we got money. Then we hired a bunch of people that we didn't know how to lead people. A million things happened there. And then, and then the second question is well, what's your marketing plan? It's we don't need marketing. Once we launch, we're going to be rich. And it was just all the naive stuff to where we are today, which is, I would say, mature as hell, moving faster than probably ever because of AI. I feel like, oh my God, this is our actual moment after 17 years. If you want to read it, it's devhub.com, developmenthub.com/history, the entire history of the company. We try to update it pretty often so that no one can ever say, oh, look, they just built an internet company and flipped it. Because now, after 18 years, come September, we're not just going to build something and flip it. We're in it for the long haul.
Amazing, man. Okay, sounds good. And you recently, by the way, happy birthday or happy early birthday. You recently moved to New York. I don't know if that's for your birthday or not, but what made you move from Seattle to New York? I mean, it sounds like, at least from my perspective,
Yeah, so
SF, New York is where all the
I will be
fun stuff happens.
I will be bi-coastal, so I will go between Seattle and New York. We bought a company here in 2021. We do have a decent East Coast presence of people. Our physical headquarters are still in downtown Seattle. And, look, I mean, again, it's so funny. I don't think there's a day that goes by where we still don't talk about the pandemic and the mental and physical even shift in the world. And so, I was very much an everyday office guy. We only hired in Seattle. We would never even think use anyone remote ever. Now we're 5 years plus past the pandemic, and we have people all over the United States, and and we've used people even all over the world, and there is no going back to the office. I just don't see it. It's very sad. I think at a certain scale of company, I think, yeah, duh, they can go back to the office for sure. But like when you're call it under 100, how do you fairly do that unless everyone lives in the same geography, right? And so we couldn't ever figure out a fair way to have everyone come back to the office. So if you live in Seattle, you have to go to the office, but if you live anywhere else, you get to work at home. So just like for us being our, small-ish, under 100 people, it's like not going to happen, And so because of that, it was like, okay, well, where do you want to live? And we never had kids. And so it was like, I've been like one of those people since 17 that I wanted to live in New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And so I honestly feel like a kid again. This is only my second week living here. And I just feel like a kid. I feel like I'm like running around like I did in Seattle in my 20s, except with the background of Manhattan and just a level of maturity. And like, I don't know. I'm just really, really enjoying it. I don't know if it lasts forever. What I will say is I played poker with a couple tech people about a week ago. And these people have been in New York since college, almost 20 years. And they're like, dude, they're like, dude, I still have the wonderment of New York City that I had when I first moved there. And it's been 20 years. And I was like, oh, wow. And I felt like a little bit new, being like, this is so sick. I rode the subway there. I mean, all by myself, and they're like, yeah, man. That's why it's cool. And so, yeah, we'll see how it all.
Dude, this might be where you get the juice to turn your current company into a unicorn. But
right.
the second win.
Right.
But okay, like on that topic, you were telling me something interesting, and we didn't, we didn't go in full details, but how did you, you mentioned you scaled out into Latin America at one point, someone helped you do that. It's interesting, tell me the story of how that happened. You met this person, or you were targeting Latin America. I mean, that's a market that not many people talk about, right?
Again, devhub.com/history, but here's the narrative from my end, right? So we had raised a bunch of money to make it a gamified way to build websites. So think about it instead of everyone getting 10,000 templates, everyone gets one template. And then as you do the one thing, you unlock the next action. So we got people to finish building sites. But we were going after bloggers. But instead of getting bloggers, we got small businesses that were using that gamification to build small business sites. But we had no way to monetize them, and we were out of money. So kind of in the dark, we let everyone go besides me, my co-founder, and I think one other, and who's still with us today, actually. And, we got a random email or call to the office that was like, hey, I'm representing this company in Mexico. They need to figure out a way to build a lot of websites for all the small businesses in Mexico. We're like, what? What do you mean there's a market in Mexico? Because again, we're in our 20s. We only know Mexico for vacations, right? We don't. Yeah, I know there's Mexico City now. I know a lot more about actually all of Latin America. But at the time, it's are they legit? Are they going to pay their bills? Anyway, we had no other option because we were out of money. We licensed it to them. We met them. Obviously, you can't fake chemistry. We can just tell they're legit. And they were like, hey, we want the exclusive to license the software from the top of Mexico to the bottom of Chile and all Latin, all Spanish-speaking countries around the world. We were like, I mean, you know it better than we do, so we did. And they were and are still, I would say, our partners for, however long that's been, since 2011-ish. So whatever that is, a little bit over 10 years. And there's, I would say, some of my good family friends at this point now too.
Got it. Interesting stuff. I mean, it's I think a lot of people overlook international markets, but huge space here. And speaking of international markets, I remember, you just mentioned, you love being in the office. That was kind of your thing. I was pitching you remote hiring for since that first cold email. And so you've switched to remote. You're hiring internationally. What are you doing with AI? Because I mean, now it's obviously, I think a lot of CEOs or founders have, that I've talked to, they're saying, okay, well, let's see how far we can get with AI agents, and then let's make, decide who to hire or, who to bring onto the team. What's your approach there?
So At the very tip of the iceberg, I guess, as they say, one of the first sort of use cases of AI here as a company, which I would say I didn't actually like, was I just heard some banging, so I didn't know if it was thunder or it's New York City, I guess. You never know. Anyway, so the first thing I use is like every time we post a job application, right? We get like 100 plus, 50 plus, 40 plus. Like no one's going through that. No human is actually going to go through that, unfortunately, and it sucks. And so the person who was in charge of hiring for that specific role wrote some type of AI program based on criteria, based on whatnot, to filter all the applications and then bring in the applicants. Weirdly enough, we never hired any of the people that the AI stuff zeroed in on. But that was like the first tip of the iceberg. It's funny. So again, I've done multiple videos, multiple, I think, podcasts, multiple blog posts at this point about like all these different aha moments this year, more than any other year. Just like, oh my God, oh no, oh shit, oh God, it's over. Like, I mean, and I think the writing's on the wall. Sometimes I feel like I'm jumping up and down. Other times I'm reassured that it's actually not moving that fast because humans are involved and they're slowing down the progress, right? By either not adopting it or whatnot. So it's funny. My co-founder, as like this stuff was happening these last couple of years, my co-founder is the smart one. He's the technical one. And I'm like, dude, what are we going to do? Like, our website's even going to be a thing. Da, 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 da. Like, I'm all freaking out. He's very much steady Eddie. He's like, oh, I'll show you some stuff one day. I'm like, one day, dude? It's right now. Like, what are you talking about one day? And then all of a sudden this year, since probably January, February, he's just been releasing stuff, right? So everything from making our people's, and this is like where it gets a little weird, right? Making our current developer engineering jobs easier for them, where instead of them understanding it like, oh, wow, I get my time back and I don't have to do the thing that sucks a lot of time from me, right? They're like, oh my God, am I going to have a job in a year? And his whole philosophy is very much like, yeah, you're just going to be 3x, 2x, 5x, 10x better, right? And luckily, based on how we've scaled, it hasn't been a people necessarily game. We've just been innovating on the platform to make it more and more scalable to the market we're going after, as well as internally for the team to get better and better at implementing our technology with the customer. On the flip side, what the customer uses, right? So we're CMS, right? Essentially, we're a website, enterprise website platform. So the two things that are I just uploaded the video to YouTube. If you go to DevHub's channel, you'll see the video there. It's like totally candid. It's with current customers and prospective customers. And basically Daniel, my co-founder, is going through and showing them, here's the capability. Here's essentially the two capabilities. One, here's how the large language models or how other models will interact with a site hosted with DevHub. AKA a website as we know it today is essentially data, and how that data gets fed into these models or even discovered by these models is one end of the spectrum. On the flip side of the spectrum is like essentially what you were talking about, a couple minutes ago, which was like the agentic side of this thing, which is like, oh, I can have my own internal web developer who knows DevHub, aka the AI agent, right? So even now, you and I, if you think about a franchise system, 300 locations, 3,000 locations, you're like, hey, there's this promo we want to run in just Washington, upload this graphic, and it knows what graphic, it knows what fonts, it knows. And by the way, make sure this ends in a week, and those all get published live without having to go through in theory, the builder, because it understands our tech. Like everyone's just like, if you watch that video, like everyone's just like, oh my God. And then they're like, and then here's like the kind of the big point of that video. And this video is with current customers and prospective customers. They're like, oh, I'm assuming you're going to say this isn't available till fall of 2025. And then Daniel's like, no, you can do it right now. And it was like, they were like, holy shit. Da, 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 da. So again, like the web is changing very, 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 very quickly. The reality is human behavior has not necessarily kept up with the pace. There's a lot of hype still. But like, again, like so far, the numbers are showing, like at least in the large language models of like the ChatGPT, Groks, whatnot, people are still searching Google. Now the AI overview results are becoming more and more important, which is interesting, and we'll see if that lasts in terms of antitrust or whatnot. But nonetheless, yeah, those are just some of the 3-4 different ways AI is playing a role here.
I'm going to try to turn up the heat here on the conversation, like some founder to founder stuff, basically. Do you ever have this feeling like, because, I own a company, and for what it's worth, like after the pandemic, like our team shrank, and I think there's only so much that it could shrink to. I mean, we're still at about like 40 to 50 people, but most of them like work with our clients or whatnot, but our internal team is quite small. And where I'm going with this is that with all this hype about companies cutting headcount, this and that, I'm just like, I'm in the same mindset where I'm like, we need to do more with AI, because if we don't, other companies are just going to crush us. They're going to be more profitable. They're going to have agents, and I'm still hiring people. Do you have the same thoughts?
Ask me one more time. Let me hear it again.
So like, all these companies are saying, like we're leveraging agents to do the work, this and that. And so in my mind, every day I wake up and I'm like, oh man, like I still have people working with me. Like, is this something that's going to become like a thing of the past? Like, should I like work with agents? Should I leverage that as much as possible? And am I falling behind to my competitors if I don't start using more AI agents? Do you ever like have thoughts like that with your company? I mean, do you feel like you're falling behind unless you're implementing AI agents into your workflows?
Right. So what I would say was, like, there's like some book or there's some famous saying or I forgot what it is, but basically it's like, I forgot what the number is. It's either 150 or 200. I don't think it's more than that. Like, is the ideal size for any company. I think maybe now more than ever, that's just never been more true, right? Like, one of the weird pseudo fallacies, or I don't know, metrics of fake success that I always thought was weird was just, again, like, how many people work for you? And it's just like, well, like, whether it's 2, 5, 10, 20, 40, 100, 3,000, 500,000, right? Like, everyone's impressed by whatever number, right? Like, whether it's 3 because you don't know any better, or 500,000. It's like, but now it's like, I think it's gonna be more impressive to be like, oh my God, yeah, we're a $10 billion company with only 200 employees.
That's what I'm saying.
I think now it's going to be, I just think now it's going to be more socially acceptable, I guess. I don't know how else to say that. Like, again, if you care about that kind of stuff. And so I think it's like, in a weird way, I would say, like, no, our time has come. Our time has come. Like, this is literally our moment. We've been putting in the work, and there'll be a lot of companies that just move way slow. They'll get disrupted very quickly. I do think in the short term, I think like tech companies in particular, the Salesforces, the Amazons, I think their stock price is just going to rip up, because I think they will just slowly let go of people as they figure out that AI side of what can be optimized, against a person. And maybe 3 people, 4 people. I don't think they're going to do it all at once. It'll be a gradual thing. Meanwhile, their stock price will go up over these next 5 years. And meanwhile, eventually scale down the amount of people doing the work. But again, for companies like of our size, say under 100 and even say under 40, is like, this is the best time ever to be running a company. Best time ever. You don't have the legacy of all the people, and you get to scale now thoughtfully with technology as basically your partner, versus like, maybe a limiting cost even back in the day. I mean, and so I don't know. I'm actually very, very, very bullish. Now the shitty part is what we said earlier, which is like, I was very much an office guy, right? AKA like the humanity part of business. And unfortunately, I am this screen and you are that screen. Yeah, I know you because I've ran with you. We had a physical interaction, in terms of like being in the same room together. But more employees that are coming on like this, whether this is them or this is an AI agent standing in their place on that Zoom call, it's very much like, are you doing your job or are you not doing your job? Sorry, you're deactivated. Next. And that's like the humanity part, the relationship part that sort of gets lost with the AI stuff, which it hurts me so much to like, like not have like the human part where this is capitalism like 10.0 or something like that, where it's like,
Right.
like, fuck it. It's not like, oh, I love Jim. Oh, I love Stephanie. It's like, no, sorry, you didn't do your job. Click, you're deactivated. Next. And it's sad. It's so sad because, by the way, their manager is probably an AI agent, right? Like, it's like it takes out the humanity of business, right? And I always describe it like this: like, once we can get an AI project manager or whatnot, right? Like, essentially, like you think an engineer is like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm missing this deadline. The policy is 3 times you're late. No problem. I will reshift the timeline and notify all the people, stakeholders who are waiting for your work to be done. Oh, and then Jake is late again, right? Or whoever it is. I'm trying to not name anyone that works at our company. But anyway, and it's like, sorry, you've been deactivated. There's no HR. You don't need HR, right? I mean, they're self-admitting it. Like, you're talking to a robot. They don't care. It's like, dude, we have to shift priority for you 3 times. The policy is 3 times. Here's the policy. Here's where you signed it. Sorry, you're deactivated as of right now. Bye-bye. Send your laptop in. Next. And I mean, it's just, that's the sad part. That's, to me, like the worst part of this. Now, yeah, and the last thing would be like, to avoid that as an employee, to avoid that as a team member of a company, is just understand how the systems connect, understand your role, understand, like, be a value add. Again, I don't think here's the thing. What I'm saying doesn't really matter for companies of our size, essentially. But I think corporate America in general is effed, because we all know, we all have that friend who does nothing. And that friend is about to get found out and fired. And like, that's to me like the real canary in the coal mine. Like, I have a couple of people I text every once in a while that work at Facebook, this and that. I'm like, hey, how's your job? Because once they get let go, I'm like, oh shit, it's happening. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but for companies of our size, like, again, like, everyone has to work. You're not sitting in a 40-person company coasting. Like, yeah. I mean, really, you're not. So you're kind of safe. I don't know whether people feel like that way or not. Like, you're kind of safe. If you're doing your job and even doing it average or even slightly better than average, you're going to be okay in a 40-person company. In a 1,000-person company, you're fired.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, to expand on that topic, like, I mean, how do you, if you're competing against companies who are operating like robots, because I mean, that's their decision thinking is like, it's like, well, you can either have a job and do it better than AI, or, you need to get out of here, right? And so then I think ultimately everyone becomes a robot, and everyone just, becomes cutthroat, and it gets worse and worse. And like what you were saying, it takes the humanity out of like employment. Like, I have some people that I've kind of kept because I have some loyalty. I care that they improve and this and that. Like, my patience is getting shorter because I know the other companies are out there just like crushing it. AI agents, like, more profitable, they move faster. So it's like, in order to compete, you're just like, well, I kind of got to be like them. I got to be like this robot, right, to survive. And that's kind of like what I was getting to. I don't know. I mean, like, you don't get that feeling. Like,
so I'll expand on that. Remember, I said this is like the best time ever to be in a company. Do as much as you can, as fast as you can in the next 5 years, and then get out. Like, that's what I would.
And then what? What do we do after 5 years?
I think my theory is the cost of everything gets cheap. So whatever money you have will actually go farther. Like, right now, like $1 million sounds like not a lot of money, right? Like, $1 million is nothing when like everyone talks about billions and trillions of dollars. Like, $1 million's like whatever. $1 million will be worth $1 million. Again, I'm always wrong, so please don't quote me. But $1 million in 5 years will be like $1 million was in the 80s, where it's like, oh wow, it feels like a lot of money, because the cost of everything will go way down, because people cannot afford like life, because one, unemployment will be, I think, pretty damn high. So the cost of everything will just have to come down. But in these next 5 years, 2 to 5 years, there's this insane, like, this is, I mean, I'll just say it. I feel like this is the roaring 20s, whether people understand that or not. This is my theory, by the way, and maybe it's conspiracy. I don't know. We are in the roaring 20s right now. Like, this is it. These next 5 years we're on the wave. We're surfing the wave. So it's like, again, but you don't want to be there when the wave crashes, right? And crashing is just consolidation. Crashing is just, you didn't grab that money earlier, And again, there's obviously ways to survive and ride another wave and another wave and another wave. I mean, you're not in business 18 years, 20 years, 30 years, however long, if you didn't ride certain moments. But these next 2 moments, these next 5, 2 to 5, and the next 5 after that will be just massively disruptive, but then also opportunistically just epic.
I mean, that's kind of like what I'm thinking also. But yeah, crazy times. Tell me a little bit about, like, were there any roles that you were looking to hire for before ChatGPT and OpenAI, or like cloud, or all these chat tools came out, that you don't need to hire anymore because either you yourself or your employees can leverage ChatGPT to do that role?
No, not yet. Again, not from where I sit. Maybe my co-founder and coding stuff, whatnot, maybe for them on that side, which again, we're technically co-CEOs. So he handles like the technical, the product, the innovation, or more sales marketing. On the sales marketing front, no, not yet. Like I thought maybe like SDR type roles, maybe, but no, like not yet. So not yet, no. Again, like if you're reading it, right, it's like Microsoft's like 40% of our code base, or Facebook, 40% of our code base is all going to be AI, written by AI, right? And like Salesforce, Mark Benioff's like, we're not hiring any more engineers for the first time in the history of Salesforce. We're not hiring any more engineers in the year 2025. So it's like, again, like, so what does that look like, And so I don't know. Yeah,
but
like here's what I heard. I was at a conference yesterday in Atlanta, right? And it was really interesting. It was like somebody was talking about their use of Salesforce. All their customer data is in there, all of whatnot. And they're saying that, and again, we don't use Salesforce, we're a HubSpot shop. But anyway, they were saying that within Salesforce would not let them extract the data to be able to build an AI knowledge base for their own company's internal use. Right? And they were pissed. And I was like, oh my God, that's like crazy for Salesforce to not give that access point. I mean, I get why, right? Like they're just going to take it all and leave. A framework that it has to kind of live in. I mean, again, I don't know. It's just, to me, it feels, again, outside looking in, running a tiny ass company, who the fuck? But it feels like they should just be that value partner, right? And give access. But like I guess they're just not, and I think that'll be like that's a ripe one to be disrupted. That behemoth of Salesforce is potentially a ripe one to be disrupted with somebody smaller to be like, here's how you leverage, blah 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 blah. And so I don't know, it'll be interesting.
What do you use AI for? Like, I mean, do you use ChatGPT? Like, do you?
I do. Like, I've used all of them. I've used Notebook ML. I've used Grok. I've used obviously ChatGPT is probably my go-to. It's the one I put most people on, aka my parents and grandparents and uncles, because it's like easier, in-laws even. And I use it like as a collaboration. Like, I don't know. I mean, let me pull it up. So I'll just tell you. So today I have a call with a prospect. It's a closing call with the founders to be like, why are we paying so much for websites? I'm like, this motherfucker. And I'm like, give me an overview of blank and their founders, right? And it's like, here's a concise snapshot, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, what else about the founder? Blah, 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 blah. All right, but who is in the family and what are their roles? Blah, 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 blah. What's the one thing I should know? Blah, 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 blah. How many years have they been doing? Blah, 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 blah. Do you think they want to run it forever? Blah, 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 blah. How many franchisees? Blah, blah, blah. It's like giving me like, there's that. And then it's like everything from designing a graphic poster for a concert I want to do to like, I'm in New York City and there's bathhouses, right? And again, like I've been to a bathhouse before in, Eastern Europe. But like, again, like, that was like kind of easy because it was like in the hotel and pretty much private essentially. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. But like in America, like what is it like? So I'm like, how does an NYC bathhouse work? Like what do I do? Right. And then like somebody made then I'm just reading off my ChatGPT. It said, look, here's the one. I was like, what are the chances or how many companies reach 10 million in revenues? Because someone told me, like, it's very rare for a company to reach 10 million in revenues. And it said, oh, it's 0.6, not even 1% of companies ever reach 10 million in revenue.
I saw that. I saw you post that, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit! Like that's sometimes like, and again, like, turn this into a cartoon. My dad like wrote a poem. I'm like, created a book, right? I'm like, what else is it? What is the most embarrassing thing you know about me? Make it funny, So the most embarrassing thing I know about you is that you're preparing to perform a live lounge act and you don't know how to play the piano. It's like watching a cat jump on a keyboard, but insisting it's performance art. But somehow you're going to pull it off. It's like Dean Martin with stage fright in a background track. It's beautiful. It's chaotic. It's you, right? I mean, like, like, yeah.
But what about for like? Do you use it for like marketing at all? Like, I mean, like
look, I have one of my folders is DevHub brand.
Okay.
And it's my biggest folder. It's literally what I talk about the most. And it's just wrong. Like, it's just like weirdly enough, when you were asking me, like, we hired marketing is so interesting. Anyway, I think we got a fucking genius marketer right now. And the way he's been writing for us, it's the first time in 17 years I trust him. But it's like, you would think that like that would be an easy thing for like a ChatGPT to like understand the tone and it's just wrong. It's like cheesy. It's just wrong. And so it took a human. I mean, literally, I've been writing to this thing for 3 years. DevHub brand. I'm looking at everything leadership, services, how to prioritize game momentum. Compare this, compare that. Blah blah blah. Brand evolution, go live, YouTube title suggestions. I mean, it's just scrolling. I'm still scrolling right now. DevHub sites and AI, how to talk about DevHub and AI, and it's just all wrong, I haven't used one of them, and so it's.
But would you say kind of gets you there? Like, at least from what I can see, it gets me there oftentimes. Like when I use it for my purposes, it kind of gets me like anywhere between 40 to 80 to sometimes 90% there, and the rest
honestly, for the DevHub brand, I have a particular feel that I'm trying to go for, and it just is not there. It's not right at all.
And what's that feel like? Like, what are you going for?
I have to tell you the story. Right. So
tell me the story.
I mean, the show Saturday Night Live, right? You know the show Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
What is the show about?
I mean, as far as I know, like they make fun of people and
what would you call that type of show?
Comedy, I don't know.
Right. Right. So in the movie called Saturday Night, it's about Lorne Michaels. I've never been like a huge Lorne Michaels guy. I've never been a even Saturday Night Live guy. I mean, I like the clips here and there, and some of them are really, really funny. But again, they're celebrating their 50th year. This movie comes out. It's called Saturday Night, and it's about the 90 minutes leading up to the first live airing of Saturday Night Live. And he's the creator, producer, essentially director of this show, and he's got Chevy Chase, all the names we know nowadays. But at the time, not a lot of names. I mean, Belushi, whatnot. Again, that was before me even being born. But nonetheless, and everyone, the advertisers, other people who were running shows on TV that were very popular, obviously the network themselves, all being like, what the F is this show about? And then, somebody will answer, it's a sketch comedy show. And he would always just say, no, it's not. Or he's like, oh, actually, you don't even answer. So this whole show is like 90 minutes before this thing airs. No, it's not sketch comedy. No, it's not a variety show. No, it's not. And it's like the whole thing is like, it's intense. Like, it's a really actually good movie. I ever since then I became a fan of Saturday Night. And so again, like the show's about to air. There's no guarantee it's about to go live because people are like, if you're not going to tell us what the show's about, we're not going to put it live on NBC or whatever. And so like 10 seconds before it airs, they asked him for the 100th time, what is the show about? And they've asked him, is it a comedy show? Is it a variety show? He's like, no, it's any random night in New York City. And I was like, that's fucking brand. That's fucking brand. Because obviously it's a sketch comedy show. And I think when you think of the big companies out there, brand is almost more important than the product. And I think it's the only thing that will survive AI. It's the only thing that will survive anything, right? If you have
Mhm.
Brand, it's worth something. Toys R Us, it makes people feel a certain way, right? Like it's just like there's
Mhm.
something there. It's like I just don't want to grow up. I just want to be a kid. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Like it means something. It's so much more powerful than just building a tech company that has a shit ton of revenue. I'd argue that in the age of AI, if you can build brand and only do $1 million in revenue, you're worth $100 million versus 10. Um, and
Mhm.
so obviously DevHub is about websites, but like, what is it really about? And like, for some reason, I cannot get there with Chat GPT. To me, this guy that we hired is actually the closest we've gotten there yet, and we're still not there.
So what is the brand that you like? What do you want your brand to say? Like what? Like where is DevHub going?
I mean, again, obviously the feeling I want, right? I'm like, even right now, it's on my shirt. You can't tell it because it's black. Oh, you can probably see it, right? It's like I think DevHub is like again, I haven't figured out how to say it correctly, so this is me spitballing, so this will age really, really well or really bad. Like to me,
Yeah.
if your business is powered by DevHub, it's like a signal that like you're not fucking around anymore, right? Like you're not just getting
I
a
like it.
website built by like an agency on WordPress. It's like, oh wow, you actually picked a technology, not a service. Like, oh shit, oh fuck, you guys are on DevHub. Damn, you guys must be worth $500 million, right? Like, oh, you must be worth a shit ton of money because you guys are using DevHub, right? Like, it's like, oh damn, you guys are, like. But again, how do you
I like
how do you
it.
say that?
He said
Like, how do you say that,
that.
right? And ChatGPT is like, da da da, and like we're just going back and forth. We've been fighting for 2 years, maybe.
I think that's the problem with the idea. People like, because some of our team members are also like trying to write on LinkedIn, and they're like, "Dude, we have all these good ideas in our head, but when we put it down on the paper, we push it out there. Like, I don't know, it doesn't come out the same way we thought
So I
it
guess
would
like
come
so
out."
the beauty, and so here's where I like sort of, I'm not gonna say differ from some marketing people, but I will just say like maybe just from my even CEO peers, is to me social is the greatest testing ground in the entire world. So
I
I am
know, right?
testing all of it all the time on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, and like, it's funny when I post a picture of myself or me and Daniel or talk about people, it always does better than like, this is a great way to do blank faster. It's like no one gives a fuck. Like the video I posted of me and my wife laughing about sharing one sink is my most popular video ever. So I know if I do more of like that kind of stuff, it'll work. Of course, I'm stubborn and I don't want to do that stuff, but yeah. But anyway, social is the best place to test the rapid fire creativity that people have. The problem is 99% of people still just don't want to post on social.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. That's why, I mean, partially why we're doing this interview thing and trying to figure this stuff out is because I think that's where the future is. Like cold email is just,
It's I think somebody called it at DevHub. I think it was surround bound instead of like
uh
inbound or outbound. It's like surround bound, and it will take
near bound. Near bound.
what
Is that what you're talking about? Near bound? Like
they're
the
calling it. They're
go-to-market
calling it
strategy?
surround bound, which is like
Okay, so there's a new bound.
right.
There's a
Yeah,
new
there is.
bound.
Yeah, but again, it requires everybody all the time. Blah blah blah. So when anyone thinks about websites, like, well, I think I know a guy or girl or whoever that's been said something or worked somewhere that I know. And again, it's just like a really tough, I don't know if it's a pill or fire or something. People are just so weird about social. I personally don't understand it,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it's very, yeah.
Okay, so quick question. Do you think AI as of right now can replace any role or just like minimize the need for that role, like
Yes.
as of today?
Yeah.
Which one?
I would say again, I don't know all the AIs that are out there, but I would say probably SDR, right? Probably call centers, probably, I mean, there's just a bunch. I mean, in our company in particular, or just in the world?
Just in the world, I would say like SDR is a tricky one.
It
Like
is.
yes, it can replace outbound, but it can't replace like a good person who can jump on a
I don't know.
call and have a
Some of the
conversation.
calling stuff is just getting good. I
Really?
think so. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I did hear that like people have like implemented AI agents to like in car dealership shop or in the shop in car dealership shops, and so they've been able to sell cars over a phone using AI agents doing the prospecting and the calling to their customer base. So people have bought calls over the phone, talking with an AI agent. It's kind of crazy.
I believe it, right? But again, like, here's what I'll say, like, it's like we're not. I mean, I don't think we're like that crazy sophisticated. We have our own little AI knowledge base at DevHub, right? It's baked in the sense it's tied to Confluence via some integration with Dashworks, and these are all questions. I'll just read you the questions that our team is asking it today. These would have gone to other people in the company, right? Let me just scroll to some random. Ready? Okay, this is all marketing questions. Let's ask. Let me just see like a combination. Okay. No. What is so? This is somebody asking, what is? Oh wait, let me just find a good smattering of questions. All right, cool. What is the Jinja code to embed a form? That's one engineer or one developer asking. Here's a customer success. What is the process for updating schema markup for a customer? Do we have any content or terms and conditions around a customer modifying their site, and then our responsibilities if it causes issues that we need to correct? Our own AI, tied to all the documentation over 17 fucking years, is fed into this thing to give answers to all these questions, which would have been minutes or hours of meetings lost in terms of having these conversations. Can you give me a Jinja if statement if the site ID is blank, blank, and blank? Like, this is just today. And so it's like, for that, it's just making us faster, better, right? I was with a fucking, anyway, I was in Atlanta. I was talking to this one prospect that's been over a year. Anyway, that, honestly, it gives me some relief, right? Like, a year to make a decision on websites. Like, come on, buddy. Like, let's move. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, we're the best. There's no other option. Like, let's go, you know? But we also are we're probably more expensive than they've ever heard for a website either, right? And it's like, well, you're not getting one, you're getting 300 websites. What do you think that should cost? How much is one website? Great. $3,000? Okay, great. Now times that by 300. Oh, and we're a quarter of that? It's still cheaper. Like, come on, move. You know what I mean? But anyway, he was like, well, what do you guys do about Core Web Vitals? What do you do about this? I'm like, dude, don't even look. Let's just ask the neutral party. You know, and I asked, I was like, let me see my question. Oh yeah, what CDN do you guys use? Right? And I was like, boom, it spits out the answer. Use a combination of CDN. CDN is part of Rackspace's infrastructure that aligns with DevHub's broader hosting that includes Rackspace and AWS. Like, this guy's just like peppering me with comments. I'm like, I'm gonna ask it. He's like, how do you ensure Core Web Vitals? You know, I'm like, and the thing is like, DevHub builds its templates. DevHub has technical optimization, caching and performance infrastructure, monitoring, QA, platform tools, and client-specific guarantees. Like, get off of us, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, but by the way, before we had this, I would be like calling my co-founder, so this guy's asking me, or this company's asking me this, bro. I'm doing it in real time. And I'm doing it in front of the guy, too. I'm like, look, don't even look at me. Here's the answers. You know? So we'll see what they do. I mean, we'll see what they do.
We're coming up on time here in a few minutes, so I have a couple more questions. And so, okay, if there was one role that you wish that AI would take over, what would that role be? Like what is one job that should not exist? What do you think? And that AI should do?
So for us,
have you ever hired a bad accountant or like?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, the one that I would love to see is, so let's say we win this brand, right? Well, we've launched 300 brands. Where is the AI that's like pseudo implementation and project management, right? Where it's like, oh, here's all the requirements for that brand because we've done it here, and here. Here's the entire scope. Here's the timeline. And here's the assignment of who's doing what. And that management of that project, again, whether it's through Asana AI, through whatever you want to end up calling it, is managing it. And then also managing comms with the people here as well as with the customer. To me, the day that happens is the day I'm like, oh, shit, you know? But I think, like, truly that's probably, I think worst case, it's 5 years. Best case, it's less than 2 years. Yeah. Again, it's just not quite there yet. Where it's like blind trust, right? Like, you still have to have somebody checking, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, look,
I feel like
here's. I mean, I'll just tell you
everything-
this. So it's like our naked eye and our ears can still tell as humans when something is off, right? It was funny again at this conference. People are obviously paying these sponsorships, and part of these before this next workshop, they play their video about their company. Like the lack of creativity. What like you have 300, 400 people in a room who are all staring at 3 screens, and your lazy ass went and used some nonsense template from Canva and said our company connects point A to point B with that classic graphic of that ball connecting to that ball. I mean, it was so bad. Like boring, boring, boring. Like you still need to have just that much creativity to break through our ears and eyes, and brains, obviously. And I don't know. It's just sad because I think everyone just like, oh wow, I can do a video promo for like $200, and it's like, yeah, dude, a $200 video that no one will ever remember because you did nothing. Like you did nothing. It's like the classic. Remember, like back in the day, like the whiteboard videos were like so cool, right? And it was just like, dude, like actually probably the whiteboard video would be better than what they were doing, to tell you the truth. But anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah. What I'm seeing is that, I mean, because I've worked with like more junior people, and sometimes they just like forward me stuff from ChatGPT, or like they try to do their thing. And so I think AI makes experts like even more expertly, and then it kind of puts junior people in a shitty situation because they don't know what good looks like, and so.
True.
AI in the wrong hands can be a dangerous thing. AI in the right hands could be like a force multiplier, right? So at least that's what I'm seeing.
That's 100%.
When you're gonna like, I don't know when you plan on hiring, or if you plan on hiring, like, are you gonna be looking for like certain AI skills, and like, is that a requirement? Like, how are you gonna evaluate people? Because like, I mean, personally, like for me, I do want them to have a good grasp. Like if I were to hire someone else, like I want them.
I mean, in a weird way, we're
me.
sort of training people on our own AI tools. So again, I guess you just want the soft skills or whatever of somebody just being open to learn. Speaking of which, actually, do you have any web developers right now?
Yeah, I always have.
Seriously, send them over.
What do you need?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know. Let me go to devhub.com/careers. I think we posted it there. Not front end. I don't know. I'll send you the role. There's a web. I just heard about it yesterday. So
let me know. We might be able to help. But yeah, I know we're coming up here on time. It was great to have you. Today was like a new experiment. As I mentioned, we're going to focus more on the future of jobs and AI, and how it's shifting the hiring and the firing in startups and enterprises. So thank you for being our guinea pig, so to say.
You better use it.
We're going to make sure, tell us where we can find you. First of all, like I see you on LinkedIn, but I also see you on Instagram. Like, what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you if they're looking for your service?
Yeah, I mean, devhub.com is the website. And then for me personally, Mark Michael, if you add the word DevHub after that in Google, or you look up Glider, CEO, like hand glider, and then CEO, like Chief Executive Officer, it comes up, or just markmichael.org if you're lazy.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mark. Thanks for joining today. We'll post your episode on YouTube, our newsletter, and then, we'll, hopefully more people start using your product and your new branding comes to life, and we'll be hearing all about it everywhere.
You'll be on the front lines.